Hello, welcome to Hands and Speaker. Me and Paul again.
Hello.
Today we are going to talk about meditation. So I think if you're watching this, you probably know what meditation is. I'm not going to go into what it is, but I believe if you're going to practice any magic at all, you need to have some meditation behind that. That's the foundation of that because that helps clear out the mind and gets you in the right mental setting for doing what you're going to do. Paul.
Yeah, I agree. I think meditation is important just for foundation. I mean, you start if you haven't meditated before, you kind of start, and generally people are kind of taken back by the racing thoughts and the need to stop and to do anything else besides meditating. But the more you do it, the more you sit with it, the more you practice it, it helps you not attach to those constant running thoughts that are always going through your brain or you know desires, your emotions, your anything that's going through your brain that you might attach to and just run with, which is what most people typically do. But when you're able to give yourself that space and that clarity, that's a good foundation right there for just having the space to be open to doing things that aren't um I guess normal, aren't like typical, like you're doing something different, you're doing occult practices, for example, or will working or anything. Being in that space makes it easier to do it.
I completely agree because if you don't have that mental space, then I think what you're trying to accomplish is probably not going to work to the way you want it to work anyway. Instead, it might half-ass work, might not work at all. But learning to meditate isn't really as complicated as people think it is. Um, I would say if you're going to just learning to meditate, what I did when I started is I just would focus on my breath, the in and the out, breathing in, breathing out, and I never did through the nose, then through the mouth, or I just breathe through my nose. But that helps the racing thoughts because you're going to have those, and once your mind starts going crazy, you just bring it right back to the breath and just concentrate on that. That's how I do it. That's what helped me. And after you get beyond that, I mean, I still have that issue where I have racing thoughts. You're always going to have that. I don't think it's ever going to stop because I've been meditating for 20 years now, and I still have it. So
Yeah, I mean, don't do it hoping to accomplish something like no longer having racing thoughts or no longer having crazy emotions or anything else, because that's not really the point so much as just learning to kind of distance yourself or separate yourself or detach yourself from those things that are constantly going to happen whether you like them to or not. And given time, given practice, you can be more practiced at not attaching to them and giving yourself space for the things. That's the importance of meditation. It really is. It's really important just for even if you're not doing things like the occult or anything else. It's just important for mental clarity and emotional stability and the ability to be introspective and look at yourself instead of attaching everything that comes along. So there's many benefits, but yeah, obviously it's foundational, I think, to occult practices, whether you're doing meditation in a formal way or just, quieting your mind and sitting for a while. There's no real, there are, I shouldn't say there's no real, but there are ways to do it formally and you can have like an instructor, but I don't know if that's necessary, at least not in the beginning. If you want to get more into it and study under somebody, sure. But you make of it what you will.
yeah, I'm with Paul. I don't think you really need an instructor for anything. If you're willing to sit down and actually take the time and the discipline to learn something, you can do it on your own anyhow. I'm not a huge believer in gurus and stuff like that. I mean, that's your thing. That's your thing. It's never been mine. Just like I've never belonged to like a coven or any occult society because that's just not my thing. I don't think I would like it, so I've never done it. But again, if that's your thing, that's your thing. It's good for you. It's good for you. That's what it's all about. So, but yeah, don't be afraid to start meditating. And yeah, little at a time. Don't jump in there and think you're going to meditate for like 3, 4, 5 hours. It's not going to happen. Just it's baby steps. Like with anything else you're learning. Like when you learn to walk, it's baby steps. When you learn to talk, it's baby steps. Same thing. It's a learning process, and it takes a while to get there. But you will get there, and it's not as hard as you think it is.
My
Um,
first experience with meditating was with a monk, and it was a bit much to do up front because you want to do hour-long meditations. But I guess in a way it was good because I wasn't kind of half-assing it, or I was just I kind of felt obligated to do it for the whole hour because he was there, present in front of me. So yeah, I mean, however you start doing it, just stick with it if you want to benefit from it.
And yeah, definitely get a foundation on the meditation before you start any occult practice, because that's totally going to help. I'm not saying you can't do occult practices or ritual magic or anything without meditation. You probably can. I've never tried to do it, but I think it's totally going to help.
But if you're not in control of all your impulses, which would come from meditation, then you're not going to. At the very least, you may not be able to stay focused.
Yeah, I think you have that clarity of mind because you gotta know what you want and why you want it before you do it, especially if you're doing ritual magic. I mean, so you gotta have clarity, and that meditation is gonna help you gain that clarity. Without that meditation, unless you're like some dude that just doesn't, or some female that just doesn't have any thoughts at all, and you're just totally calm all the time, I don't think that person exists. But hey, whatever. Maybe they're out there somewhere. I'm not that old.
It can be tricky. It can be tricky. Yeah. It can be tricky detaching from the, I guess, the intellectual parts of the mind, because for me, even just focusing on clarity is focusing on a concept, and it's easy to just get stuck in that and not really detach to the point where you're not even focused on a concept so much as just being present. And not even so much like the concept of being present, because even that can trick you, but just truly just not being attached to anything, which really is hard to sum up with words and probably shouldn't be summed up with words. But if you can do that,
it's my cat attacking your phone.
Yeah, he's attacking. But if you can do that, you're gonna have some clarity and insight.
All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say about meditation. It falls through. I guess we can call this a take.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to meditation. It's pretty simple, and I mean, there's not much you can elaborate on it, because the more words you put into it, the more it becomes an intellectual thing, and right. Meditation is, not so much that. So.
All right. Well, then we'll see you guys next time, and maybe we'll talk about, I don't know, chaos magic or something. That would be cool. All right.